That's right, guys. We're back. In this issue of Words with Nerds, we are back on our Halloween shit, and we are for this whole week going creepy and spooky and all things horror related within the nerd community. Another issue of Words with Nerds. Vince, what episode is this?
This is issue 45.
Issue 45. That's right. And as always, you have the triple S ranked nerds themselves. You got me, DJ Sundance Kid himself.
You got me, Victor Deadman Rodriguez.
Wow, what the heck? I wasn't prepared for this.
Damn, neither was I.
Space case.
Space, no one can hear you. Case.
Wait, you can't hear me?
No.
No.
Is this better if I talk this?
No. Like
okay?
in space, no one can hear you.
Oh, because there's no sound in space. Listen, man, it's been a week. Thought my mic didn't work for a second.
Don't worry, guys. There's a reason.
I didn't realize you were making a space joke.
There's a method to our madness, I swear. But we're back. It feels like it's been a while for us to like be all together and record, because if you guys watched the last episode, I was absent, and these two wonderful men were gracious enough to anchor us down and kind of hold it down for me while I was dealing with some personal stuff. So I appreciate them more than they could ever know, which is why I also sent them gifts in the mail, which they will receive and hopefully have before the next episode that we record, so that they can show them off.
I'm so excited. You texted Taylor and told her what you were sending me.
I texted
and she knows and I don't. So
I asked Taylor and Amanda for your specific. I was like, do you guys think they'll like this? And they were like, yeah, they're gonna love it. And I was like, all right, great.
My god.
Say nothing else about this.
You're sneaky motherfucker, man.
Moving on.
You're sneaky motherfucker, man.
So this week, I could say a lot about this because I love this show. However, let's first get into the first 10 weekly mini topics. And I know you guys are probably itching to say something, but I will just say, in the spirit of Halloween and the month of October and everything, a new game recently came out. It is called Metroid. Yes, the new Metroid that came out for the Switch. It is glorious. It is basically, as much as I would like to talk about it, it's just like a very cool shoot 'em up. And anybody that grew up with Metroid and all of the games that came out from every system, to like one of my favorites was on the GameCube. Metroid Prime, it's always fun to play a shoot 'em up game, but it's even more fun when you get to play as an iconic character, Samus Aran, and I just think it's so much fun. It's one of those games where you don't need to follow the plot too much, but the plot is good if you do follow it. The graphics, the action, it feels very reminiscent of like those shoot 'em up 90s games that came out for like the Sega. Especially, I got very big Contra vibes when I was playing it. So I definitely recommend playing this game if you have a Switch. It is probably one of the best buys that I've purchased on the Switch since like Hades, which was pretty close to almost a year ago when we were in lockdown, or quarantine. So I will say, play this game. It is amazing. It came out last week and I love it. So that's my topic.
I'm gonna live vicariously through you because wow.
What's up today?
It's a cat fight.
Halloween vibes, gotta love it.
It's a cat fight. It happens. I'm gonna live vicariously through you because I grew up playing Metroid also. I grew up playing a lot of linear games on the Game Boy also too. I saw the trailer for this and it reminds me a lot of like obviously all the Super Mario, like the classic Super Marios where it's linear, and then it kind of has like Castlevania vibes to it too, because I remember Castlevania always had the best graphics. They always for some reason all the linear games came out around the same time, right, for the Game Boys, but Castlevania always just came out with graphics that were top tier for some reason. I don't know what they're doing over there, but Yeah, Metroid looks cool. Keep me updated with how it's going. I would buy the game, but
I'll let you borrow
I'm a
it.
broke bitch right now. So
Yeah, once I flip it, I shall let you borrow that.
let's do
From
it.
your
Yeah,
boy,
send me in the mail. Send me in the mail.
I guess, or I could just see you in person and they
Or
that.
yeah, or that.
Or
Yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah. Listen, we don't live in the 1600s anymore. All right.
Can you believe that? Like, for anybody watching, the three of us, we've hung out all together once
Yeah.
in the past almost year that we've been doing this.
It's kind of sad.
Well,
It's crazy.
Schedules, man. Schedules and trying to, be an adult.
New jobs and
What
like,
are I don't even know what
relationships and
friends
stuff
are.
like that.
Real life friends?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
fuck.
I don't know what
Yeah,
those
but
are.
I think I talk to you guys more than I do. I
I
talk to you guys.
definitely talk to you guys more than I talk to most people, which is starting to freak
Mhm.
me out because I'm like, am I becoming a recluse? Like, I have the beard. To
It's a
match
cult.
with it,
It's a cult.
and-
It's a
Yeah,
3-person
gotcha.
cult, apparently.
It's a
Yeah, the three of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that,
Sweet. Just
It's
the three of us.
inclusive.
I'm cool with that.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that entirely. I do got one for the first 10. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Go
pretty
ahead,
excited.
and then I got a quick one because I don't really know much about it, but I am excited for it. So go ahead and I'll go next.
I hope we did not pick the same one. So
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
So my quick 10 is the trailer drop for one of the movies that I'm really anticipating this year. Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
Holy
Dude, are you
shit,
Are
he
you
did get
serious?
it.
No, I'm just kidding. You did it.
Oh, I was like, damn it.
Oh, I was gonna be like, are you serious, bro?
No.
Son of a biscuit eating
Dude,
bulldog.
that trailer got me. I mean, the only thing I will say is like I feel like they, even in the trailer, it looks like they relied heavily on some CGI, but it makes sense because some of those monsters you couldn't make them practical. But oh man, even seeing the front of Raccoon City PD, I was like, oh shit.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know. It kind of lost me when they cast the dude from Victorious. Like,
But he looks like
Easy.
Leon.
he doesn't look like he doesn't look like him at all. What are you talking about?
No, he really doesn't though, bro. Come on.
No,
Like the
Oh my
Latino
God.
Leon, man.
Leon
It
S.
makes me
Kennedy
happy.
Latino
is a
Leon,
white
I don't-
boy through and through.
Listen, go to any country with Latinos, and there's no one named Leon. I guarantee it.
Leon, what's wrong with you, dude? My cousin
Leon. What?
Leo Kennedy. Yeah, the Kennedy is the thing. But
This is a reboot though, right?
It's a straight up reboot. It's really mean, but I guess they passed around the note from the cast that when they were it's like the Bible rules for it, and one of them is don't include Mila Jovovich.
Is she not in it?
Well,
Yeah,
'cause
'cause
she
they-
steals the fucking show, dude. Like, of course they're not gonna put her in the new one,
Yeah.
especially if it's a reboot. Like,
But it's like a reboot that they're following. I guess they
Makes sense.
mashed up Resident Evil 1 and 2. So it's going to be following both of those stories, and it looks like it's going to be following them like it's going to be one of those movies that both of them are happening at the same time.
oh no, that doesn't do.
I can definitely see that they didn't want to do the mansion again because of the first
Right.
Resident Evil. Hey, look, I'm excited to see Raccoon City just destroyed by zombies. They showed those scenes and it looked beautiful. I'm very excited, and it wasn't one of those trailers that ruined the movie by showing so much of the plot. So I'm stoked for it. That was my first 10. Hey,
Listen, I wish you the best, but I think it's gonna be garbage.
probably, but I'm in it for the ride, man.
Like, there's
I'll
so
watch
much
it. I'll watch
untapped
it.
potential in the mansion. Like,
Yeah.
they were in the mansion for like all of 5 minutes in the first one, but all right, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know.
High hopes.
High hopes.
Vince,
What platform does it come out on, real quick?
It comes out on the big screen on the
In
picture
theaters.
show, bro. Yeah,
Oh, I know that one. Yeah,
I've heard of that.
I've heard of that.
one.
Theaters?
Yeah, the big screen. Yeah, I've been there.
Silver screen.
For the Tinseltown.
Tinseltown.
Hollywood? Hollywood?
So there is a new game that's been out for about a week or two now. I think maybe longer. I heard about it through the grapevine. It is called New World. You guys might have heard about it. It seems like everyone's kind of talking about it, especially if you're into PC gaming. So what it is in a nutshell, it's 1600s technology with magic incorporated. It's an online MMO, and it's done by Amazon. Actually, I think it's one of Amazon's. I don't know if it's their first game. I doubt it's their first game, but it's definitely the biggest game that's dropped from Amazon. Right now, it's like a big social experience or social experiment, rather. There's a part of the game where obviously it's MMO, so it's all open world, right? Mm-hmm. There are different villages, and you can have a faction basically with you and your friends. You can have control of the village, but other factions can come and take the territory from you, and they can set like taxes on things like armor and weapons and everything like that. So when they want to do that, they basically set up a big war. And I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I heard it's like I want to say it's like 100 versus 100 real people against each other online. So it's an actual chaotic war. Yeah, right. So not only like the servers can handle that, right? That's kind of nuts to think about. But like I said, it's a social experience. So coincidentally, I was at a wedding last night and we were talking about it for a little bit. And my friend, you guys know Zach, right? So Zach, listener of the show, friend of ours, he was talking about how you're doing a social experiment with a game, right? With gamers, which is kind of dumb because during these battles, people will go on the day before and find out who they're going to be battling, and then they'll go and report them and get them banned for a week. So then it offsets your team, right? So instead of it being 100 on 100, you got 20 people, 30 people banned because you're an asshole. And now you have the advantage. So we'll see how the experiment goes, I guess.
That in itself is a social experiment. That in itself is like part of
I'm just sitting on Twitch watching this go down, and it's hilarious.
It's fucking terrifying. Cause like, holy shit. Like people got so bored with like standard MMO games where it's just like, I want to kill things and do missions. It's like, no, I want to like be able to tax like what I feel is right for land and armor and shit. Like it's just weird to me. That's weird. I don't know. That's a level of gaming I cannot get into.
There are a lot of games that have kind of touched on all of those subjects that Vince just mentioned, but they just haven't put them together in a single game. If that makes sense. Like it's there's like some Diablo references in there, or it feels like very Diablo heavily influenced, and I don't like it. It sounds fun, but it also sounds super chaotic. I remember being 14 and playing Halo 8 versus 8 in like big team, and I used to think like, oh, this is a lot. But like 100 versus 100, shit, dude.
Yeah, like how do you coordinate with people? Like how do you develop any sort of strategy when there's that many people online?
Sounds like that's
follow the guy that says Leroy Jenkins.
All right,
we all know how that turned out. I remember watching that on E-Bombs World. Oh my god, I'm showing my fucking age. Hey, let's wrap this shit up. Come on.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Let's move into the main. Let's move into the, as we like to call it around here, meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes
of the episode. And Victor, since it's your week and your subject, why don't you take it away, bro?
So what we're going to be talking about is something near and dear to all of our hearts. I actually just found out that Vince likes this. Like I didn't know he was a big fan like me and Dave are.
The betrayal.
I didn't know that. Dude, when you said that, I was like, you fucking kidding me, dude. We are going to be talking about, since we're doing top picks of everything, we're going to be doing our personal top picks of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors. That's why I have, am I point fucking camera?
Yeah, you're in the middle. I mean, you can point wherever and you're going to get it.
It's right here. I got that just for that. I also have my favorite shirt from that particular show.
Yeah, I want that shirt.
I love that shirt.
I loved it, dude. I found it. I'm like $10. Yes, ma'am. My work.
Say yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on, let me refuel real quick. I'm just gonna grab a beer. You keep on talking because you sound immaculate, my friend.
Thank you, brother. So just a quick overview. The Simpsons. If you don't know what they are, I'm not gonna explain it to you more than like it is just a family from Springfield that get into goofy adventures. The show came out in 1989. The Treehouse of Horrors did not happen first season. It happened second season. And it was just was supposed to be like a one-shot thing where he was like, I want to do a Halloween episode. This seems like a fun idea. Matt Groening, the man who created it. And eventually he saw that was the highest rated episode that he had, was the Treehouse of Horrors. The first one was the highest rated episode. So he ended up doing one more the following year. And that's when he realized, yo, I hit pay dirt, because every Treehouse of Horrors is the highest rated or the highest viewed episode for The Simpsons. It's literally like that is their meat and potatoes. So
we really need a meat and potatoes counter on here.
We really do.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not that good.
We'll figure it out.
I'm not.
I know how to do.
I just know how to make things look nice. I don't know how to make things functionable.
Just every time we say it, just add like a little thing.
I have to make a whole nother overlay, and I have to guess how many times we might say it.
The question is, do we just use the word meat and potatoes, or do we have like a piece of steak and a potato and then just a counter next to it?
Right. We'll get there.
Yeah,
that'll be my personal goal for season 3. I will not only, change the interface and make it more, snazzy, but I'll add a meat and potatoes meter.
Oh my God.
I think we're at 6 for this episode.
I'm gonna be so happy.
Jesus Christ, we're at a lot. We have to do one. We have to do it for everything forever. For everyone that we say, but it's just one of those episodes that you watch it and they're fun, that you never have to actually watch. The Simpsons never has an overarching theme, and this isn't like the full episode. It's literally just bits. It's small little bits, because the first one was just literally them telling scary stories, and it was 3 different bits. And we're gonna just go around talking about why we liked why the ones that we picked, why we enjoyed them. Kind of dive into it. I do have a few questions for both of these wonderful co-hosts, why they picked what. And we're also, at the end, give a few honorable mentions. So today I'm going to start off because it's one of my favorites too. Mr. DJ, I want you to lead off the round table here. What is your favorite Treehouse of Horror that you're starting off with? I'm shaking.
That's a really good question, and I'll give you a really good answer. But first, I got to burp because I took that beer to the head.
Honestly, I just saw you chug that whole beer.
Really good,
the best Homer burp.
Pale ales are always fun because the burps are always just so.
Jesus. He's gonna shit himself.
Just a little poop came out. Just a little streak.
Come on,
stripes.
I'm trying. Okay.
I'm gonna throw up.
Okay, so my first pick for our segments, not full episodes, just segments, are going to be The Raven.
Oh.
Which is the final segment in the first Treehouse of Horror. First off, it's just a retelling of Lisa reading The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe to Bart and unknowingly Homer, who is hanging out in the treehouse, outside of the treehouse. Which is apparently, when you think about it, you're just like, why do they call it Treehouse of Horror? That's why. Which I thought was a cool way of doing that. First off, everything from like the intro, the original intro with Marge, to like the other 2 stories, which were fun, but The Raven specifically, I think it reached out to me because it took something that was written so long ago and modernized it for the 90s on a show, animated, and made it one of the most fun things to watch, while also in its own right having this underlying tone. And this is like a reoccurring theme with Treehouse of Horror bits, is that there's this very creepy undertone. It's like taking whatever it's parroting off of, and it keeps the essence of horror underneath. But like obviously they satire it and they make it funny for you. But Matt Groening's a genius at not, especially in the earlier seasons, not placating to the masses, if that makes sense, and making it for those specific viewers for The Simpsons. So The Raven was made for people like us. Like if we were this age in 1990 and we saw that for the first time, I guarantee you it would be like, I need to rewatch that. When is it coming back on the air? When
Bro.
am I seeing that?
I had to rewatch it at this age. I had to watch it like twice. I was like,
It's-
honestly, I haven't heard someone speak Old English since I was in high school. So for me to hear it, 10, 11 years later, yes, I'm aging myself. I was like, what the fuck are they? What are they saying? But yeah, Old English.
It definitely hits different when you're a kid. You're just like, oh, it's animated, it's fun. But then when you're older, you realize, fucking James Earl Jones.
Oh yeah,
narrated that shit. And for those of the uninitiated, and I swear, if anybody doesn't know James Earl Jones, the national treasure himself, you guys are idiots, because he voiced Darth Vader in the original series of Star Wars. He also voiced Mufasa, Lion King.
He's in the Sandlot.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he is the neighbor.
He's the flying guy in the Sandlot with the dog.
He's just like, took one over the head.
Come on.
No, but I love that. He's just like, used to blind the plate so fast, crowded. But anyways, having his like kind of masculine, deep baritone type voice narrating such a beautiful piece of literature, it was pretty cool. And then having Homer play the protagonist of the story, and Bart as the Raven. And for Dan Castanella to speak as Homer but use the words of Edgar Allan Poe, it was sheer brilliance. And it kind of it adds like the visualization to the Raven, like, because a lot of the times you'll read poems or you read stories and you visualize in your head, but then when they add like that layer of, this is what we think it looks like, it's kind of like, oh, okay. So you get like a deeper appreciation for it. And I really enjoyed that, because they took something that people probably at the time thought it was like boring, when in actuality, a lot of like the Telltale Heart, Raven, the Pit and the Pendulum, like a lot of Edgar Allan Poe's stories are extremely morose and very scary. So I love that aspect of it. And they took it and they turned it on its head and turned it satire and kept that horror aspect to it. And that was one of the first. So it was a beautiful thing. And it kind of set the tone for the rest of them in the future.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Quick fun fact. Matt Groening, I keep mispronouncing it right. He didn't want to do it.
I think it's Groening. I don't know.
Groening.
I don't know it.
Groening. He didn't want to do it.
Groening? I don't know, man.
Koenig?
He didn't want to do the Raven when he was doing it. So he's a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan. There are a few episodes. There is a Telltale Heart reference in one of the episodes. He references him quite a bit, and he wanted to do it as kind of like a love letter to it, but he thought it would come off pretentious. And then wasn't it James Earl Jones that was like, you should do it. If I'm guesting, I'll read it. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And they won an Emmy for that. They won an Emmy for that segment.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. Fun fact. Sorry.
It set the bar. You can't have James Earl Jones narrate something and then be like, oh, this is some regular shit. Like, nah, dog. Like, you're not going to have that iconic voice. Even in the 90s, his voice was iconic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And have it and then just be some regular segment. Like, nah, that was the last segment and it was good. If I can imagine that being like starting off or even in the middle, like it ended that episode perfectly.
It was such a good episode.
You can really tell that he did the episode for himself. He didn't really do it for viewership at all. Because one, I mean, you can tell just how big of a fan he is based off of everything you guys just said. And two, this is episode 1 of Treehouse of Horror. This is the first time they've ever done it. They have all the classic 80s Halloween movies that they could do parodies of, but he picks Edgar Allan Poe, right? So it's just an interesting pick. You can tell it's definitely based off of his fandom of it.
It's so
instead
niche.
Of exactly. It's very niche of him to do that.
It was pretty clever. And David, you pretty much covered all the points that I was going to freaking talk to you about. So thanks for doing that.
But it's like you said, it's an ode to like Edgar Allan Poe. Like he did it for him. And that's one of the best things that you can have in an animated series, when the people that create it keep in mind the source material, especially if it's satire.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, man, it's so
And
good.
to win an Emmy off of it too. I mean, can you imagine how he probably felt crazy good about that, because he did it for himself. This is season 2 of The Simpsons,
Dude,
right? And you're winning. You won an Emmy.
And animation wasn't big back then too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like today when like something comes out and instantly people are like, it should be Emmy nominated and stuff. Like Simpsons was forefront for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were changing the game. And that was one of the things where it was just like, oh, you can make a Halloween episode and it can be very popular and win awards. Like they set the tone. That's why I love those earlier seasons. So yeah.
The earlier seasons came out beautifully, but to switch the tone from the earlier seasons, we're going to be switching it to a little bit of a newer, fresher thing. Mr. Vince, please tell us, what is your pick for the Treehouse of Horrors?
So, yeah, I went with the newer episodes for both of my picks. I grew up watching The Simpsons. I kind of fell off, I don't know, maybe around like the high school years, but I remember being a kid, my uncle watching The Simpsons all the time, and that just pulled me in to watch it. I used to play Hit and Run. You guys probably play that game too for PlayStation.
The arcade games?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I still play Tapped Out like religiously on my phone.
I couldn't get into that. Oh
my God.
I understand.
I got into
such a fun game.
Yeah.
Jenna was into that shit.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, it's a good game. I had like Simpsons action figures growing up with like what kid had Simpsons action figures? I don't know anybody else besides me that had.
Cool
you did?
Kids.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
I had the Bart Simpson one, but like
yeah.
So cool, dude.
What did I have? I had the Homer's car. I wish I kept that fucking thing.
Yeah. For sure.
So
yeah, there's definitely an appreciation of The Simpsons growing up. So I like the newer or the older stuff for sure. For this episode, I just want to pick something older so we can get a little variation of just like they've been going on for 30 something years. So I just wanted to do, a little bit of old stuff, a little bit of new stuff. So my episode I went with is episode 29, came out in 2018, and it's called Intrusion of the Potty Switchers. Yeah. Did you guys like this one? What did you guys think about this one?
That's the Apple one, right? I watched
it's the Apple one with Steve. What do they call him? Not Steve Jobs. They call him Steve something.
It was it's very. So your pick is very like reminiscent of the earlier seasons. Mm-hmm. I only watched up to like season 9. Of The Simpsons, and I sporadically watched other episodes of the later seasons because it was getting too, at that point The Simpsons was too popular, and so it felt like it wasn't for that niche crowd that originally it was made for. It was kind of just becoming more and more popular, and at that point the same writers for those seasons kind of weren't there anymore, and it kind of took like a different tone, and it was kind of leaning too much into
well, yeah, I mean, you get that tonal switch when Futurama comes along and Family Guy comes out, and then all of a sudden there's this explosion with adult animation, and then Simpsons is like, shit, we're now the old guys. We're the ones that are dated here and kind of out of the loop. So how do we evolve our show to stay relevant, right? So that's why I like the newer stuff too, because you get to see, Matt Groening, however you want to say it.
Groening guy.
I've heard so many different variations of this guy's name. I'm just gonna call him Matt.
Yeah, we could just call him Matt
because I can't fuck that up, right?
Matty G. Matty G.
There we go. So Matty G. You could just see how good of a developer he is, because he not only does stuff for the love of it and just does it on his own terms, regardless of viewership or not, but he also has the ability to kind of adapt with the times. This is, like I said, it's been going on for 35 years since 1989. So do the math, because I'm not going to.
32, Cam.
32. Thank you.
I am one of your best friends, and I was born.
Listen, the only reason you know that is not because you're skilled in math. It's because you were born literally a year apart from that date.
Yeah, you're old as shit, dude.
I'm gonna be 32 in a couple days. Yeah, but all right.
We're in our 30s. That's
Vince
is the young one.
I'm the baby.
Shit.
Vince is the baby.
Fuck that shit. I will say this.
Genetics.
I will say this. I do appreciate your fondness for picking the newer seasons.
Oh yeah.
I will say there's an affinity to you when you, because me and David here, we try to pick nostalgic. You'll see in a second. We are very nostalgic with our picks. Vince will try to keep us relevant because we're the old fucking men apparently, or something.
This is how I am. I just
is out. Yeah.
He looks at us and he's like, "How was it when TV went to color?" And I'm just
no, like I said, like there's definitely an appreciation for the older stuff, the nostalgic stuff, but that's just how I am. I just like, I don't know. There's something about me where I need the newest, most current, up to date stuff. Even the animation alone, it's so crisp.
It's very
clean looking,
and
I just love it. Yeah.
Watching that episode, there was a very crisp, and it was really funny because that episode was paying homage to it was being a parody of one of the first like sci-fi movies out there, which was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it had a very upbeat ending to it. And I will say there were some bits in there that were pretty funny with like Police Chief Wiggum and shit like that. Some of those bits were hilarious. I'll say that.
Yeah. So this one actually got criticized a lot because a lot of people that reviewed this episode were kind of bashing this episode for being late and not relevant because it's about Apple and Steve Jobs. And apparently it came out 10 years after Apple was the most relevant thing. To me, who cares? Apple is, I mean, everyone has an iPhone, right? Most people. I feel like Apple's always relevant. Doesn't matter the timing of it. So once again, going back to Matty G and his I don't give a fuck attitude, he wrote this not only 10 years after Apple was relevant, but he purposely made this episode just full of punchlines and one-liners because he was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Like, I'm just going to go for it and make this the funniest episode that I can make it. That's why it kind of is. This is kind of why I picked it, because it has, to me, it is one of the funnier episodes for the Treehouse of Horror ones. I love Otto turning into a weed plant.
And he's like, yeah,
I died.
That was actually really
super clever.
That was my favorite part of
No, what was it? My favorite part was when I was just actually that's probably my favorite part. And then Police Chief William getting shot, and then Carl being like, well, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like,
what do you got though? To Vince's point though, it's when people draw criticism, it's funny because they want the Simpsons to stay the same but remain relevant, which makes no fucking sense.
No,
it's the same. It's people do that with things that they love, especially with musicians. I love music, and one of my favorite artists is Lupe Fiasco, Run the Jewels and stuff like that, and people will be like, I hope they stay the same. Oh, why does all their stuff to stay the same? Why can't they switch up? So like, fans will never be happy. So I mean, you just got to do what you want to do. And Matty G does a good job of like, even I'm biased because I'm super nostalgic, and whenever I watch stuff, it takes me back to a different time. So with the new stuff, I kind of am very apprehensive. But Vince sees a different side to it, which is cool, and hopefully I can get on that train because that was a really good episode. I've never seen that episode, and I watched it and I loved it.
I watched the whole thing, and I will admit I really did like it. I will say there's one thing I do miss it's the last thing I'll touch on before I get to talk about my thing. I will say that in the first seasons of the Treehouse of Horror, the whole thing was storytelling. Yeah. And this is where I'm going to fucking sound like one of the people that you just said you don't like.
Just do it.
I did like that bit. I did like the bit where it's like, like it was Homer sitting down, like, having a nightmare with his family, or it's like they're talking about something, or they're like, oh, let's tell some scary stories because we're at at a party and stuff. And my dog just inside. I'll take off your collar.
The stakes aren't as high when you have storytelling. It's like, this is that.
The only thing I will say, I did like the opening bit, but I wish they still kept that bit of like the storytelling, like that they were like, oh, this is. But I will say I liked it. No, sorry, it was a beautiful. Both of your episodes are beautifully executed, and I did like them. It was funny bits.
What about yours? What about yours?
Yeah, I'll just go to mine. Mine, I love it because it's actually the first official appearance of my favorite characters ever. I want to get this tattooed on me. It is it is actually from David's episode as well. Hungry are the damned. So I love the episode. It's just a good, fun mocking of, can I take that collar off that dog? It's a good
Santa's
fun little,
helper?
Get that dog out of there. Does he all I hear is jingle jangle?
Santa's little helper.
Santa's little
Yeah, what do you was it Christmas time in your room? What is that?
Yeah, he's
The
on
guy in your basement get out again?
Oh my god. My dad? Yeah, he lives in the basement. What am I doing?
Come on, man. I forgot he lived with you. I'm sorry.
In my house, yeah. So I love it because you guys, we already actually talked about it. I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone. So I watched the Twilight Zone prior to watching The Simpsons, obviously, because like that came out when I was that episode came out when I was a child. Like when I was still a baby, so I had to watch a rerun of it. But I watched the Twilight Zone prior, and I was like, I recognize this episode kind of. That's a parody of To Serve Man, and it's such a. I thought the writing in it was so amazing. Dude, some of the bits were funny. The book bit was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. I was cracking up. That's like a classic scene from not only the Treehouse of Horror, but The Simpsons in general. That whole scene is so classic. I love it.
Yeah, it was like, it's like, to serve 40 minutes. Just like, no, there's still some more space dust.
You know what the dream aesthetic is just, or I don't know what the sound is, but it's just them like the saliva like coming from their mouth,
right?
Like that sound. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. And
ASMR, dude, ASMR.
Yeah, exactly,
dude. And my favorite bit, James Earl Jones only had a few speaking lines in this episode, and like up until he had his main thing when the Raven, but watching it where they're just like, if you wanted to make Sherlock the Preparer cry, congratulations. And it's just, you hear, you're not the only intelligent species with feelings, and I'm just like, fucking James Earl Jones.
Oh my god. Usually so a little BTS on how we do stuff. So we're in some sort of group chat with each other during the weekend. We usually just let each other know what we pick for the episode, so we can either go back and rewatch it or take notes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you guys got to yours really quick for this week. Absolutely. So, and Victor, if you didn't pick this one, I definitely would have picked this one. So I'm glad we're talking about it, because I watched this and I didn't realize that you picked it, because I think you originally texted me a different name on accident.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do this episode. Yeah.
This is you the actual name of what it was parodying.
Yeah, this is a great episode.
It was so well done, and it just hurt how funny it was. I remember watching it with my dad, and I could still watch it with the old man that lives in the basement. I could watch it and just like, what is it, the Pong bit, where it's just like, what you call table tennis, we've digitized and put on this, like, that's Pong, man. And it's like, yeah, me and Marge played that in high school. And it's just like, okay, whoever mastered intergalactic space travel, raise your hand. And you just see that, like, them, and then Bart is just like, Homer smacks his hand. Or with the HBO joke, because that was just a key fucking joke in the 90s, where it's just like, we get 6,000 amazing channels, and it's just like, do you get HBO? No, that would cost extra. I'm just like,
satire at its finest.
Right? At its finest.
So good.
All right, so we hit this pretty good stride right now. I am gonna go back to Mr. Vince, because I want to hear his second one, because I actually really, really, really dug this one, dude. So, because I'm a big fan of of what it's sourcing.
Yeah.
And it had one of the best jokes. It had pretty much the best joke progression in it. Mr. Vince, what was your second pick here, my friend?
Okay, so once again, I went with a newer thing. This is actually like only 1 or 2 years old at this point. Mm-hmm. I originally just saw a picture of it and I thought it was just a poster that a fan made until I found out it was an actual episode. So I went with Danger Things, which is a parody of Stranger Things, obviously. But yeah, I saw the poster of Lisa with her haircut, like all shaved like 11, and then they've got Bart and Milhouse and everybody as the gang. So I thought it was super fitting because I just brought up Stranger Things last week on Top Notch Horror 3. So I was like, I have to talk about this one. Plus, it's awesome. So yeah, it's once again, it's relevant. It's funny. Like Victor said, there's a lot of good jokes in this one, and they're parodying Stranger Things, which I just was having a good time seeing what Simpsons character became what Stranger Things character and how they spun it. It was hilarious, man.
Can I ask?
I
just want to ask for you, Vince, was it when you have something that gets satired like Stranger Things, do you prefer, in this instance, do you prefer the original or do you prefer the satire?
That's a good question. I mean, I prefer Stranger Things. Obviously, I'd watch Stranger Things
in terms
100
of
times.
Entertainment. Yeah,
I'd definitely watch Stranger Things 100 times more than this one episode.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. If the Simpsons did like a whole like
series
3-4 episode thing, yeah, sure, I'd watch that too. I don't know.
If they kept it smart, I would.
No, it's a good question.
Jesus Christ, that was a particularly good episode. I did enjoy. What was it? Police Chief Wiggum, like, had one of the best fucking bits in the whole thing where you just see him sit down. He's like, "Well, there's the outline of a repeat." He's like, "Anyways, what year is this?" Like, and I'm just like,
they're like shit talking the '80s references and stuff.
It did give me like this hope that, you hear so much, and I haven't watched any of the seasons, but it gives me hope that, like, even when they satire, like, they're still not afraid to like make fun of the stuff that the source material as well as themselves. So there's still that essence of the original, like why The Simpsons was made in the first place, kind of bit with the Treehouse of Horror episodes. At least I haven't watched the regular seasons in I don't know how long, and I only watched these because we were doing this episode. But it gave me hope. I was like, okay, so they're still cranking those out, and they're not bad quality either. So
yeah, I will. Yeah, I will completely agree with you. Yeah, I'm thankful Vince picked these two ones because I was able to watch just how the joking goes. Because actually, the reason you like the old ones too, right, Vince? By chance,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually.
There's a reason why. Because
I just watched both your guys' picks today. Yeah, because I'm just.
Oh, is that why you asked me for my Disney Plus sign?
I did. Yeah, I texted you, DJ, earlier. I was like, "What's your Disney info?"
You know what? I didn't remember my password, so I had to remake it because I was like, I'm not gonna sign out of my shit and then sign back in with like guessing.
But no, yeah, we watched them today during we ate lunch and watched your guys' picks back to back.
Oh,
that's
shit.
funny as hell. Jesus Christ. So the reason why. You could definitely also tell the change in writers because comedians write for The Simpsons. They've been since the dawn of The Simpsons. Comedians have been writing for them. The reason why we all have kind of like a fondness for the original ones, Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien was writing for The Simpsons.
The mainstay.
I always forget about that.
What was it? Season 8 or season 9?
Yeah, he jumped off around 8 or 9 because his talk show career just kind of was. Yeah, it was right at the peak of it, so he couldn't.
That's continue. So wild to me. Like. I'd never heard that until today. I don't know how I've never heard that before, but I love Conan O'Brien. I've seen his show live. I've gone to see him live 4 times.
What?
I've met him in person before.
You have a photo with him.
I used to watch him every single night.
Yeah, I love Conan.
Yeah,
mostly because he treats every actor from Always Sunny goes on there, and he has like 4 guests that he keeps in rotation that everybody loves, which is Timothy Oliphant, right? He's got Bill Hader on there.
Yep, people on deck.
He used to have Norm Macdonald, rest in peace.
Yeah, right.
On there all the time, and
he also always has Stephen Yeun. Paul Rudd.
Yep.
Stephen Yeun is always on his show he's Glenn from Walking Dead.
And he does the bit whenever he's on there where he's just like, we're gonna show you a clip, and then it's always the same clip.
What is that movie? I actually have seen that fucking movie too. It's like a rip off of E.T. Yeah, but when you watch that, when you watch Conan O'Brien's show, dude, you can tell where the Simpsons got like the
Yeah, it
best
makes
bits from.
sense why I like
It's quick
both
and
of
it's
them,
snappy,
both their
but
sense of
like,
humor.
yeah, it's also very like there's a lot of underlying jokes like
Mhm.
for like you really have to think about it, but on the surface there's very quick and funny jokes. So like Conan is very known for that. He is
Mhm.
like a very Bill Hader too. I forget.
Yeah.
Bill Hader's always on that fucking show, and I love it when he comes because he's
Yeah.
such an awkward dude, and I relate to that because I get along with people very easily, but I'm super awkward
Me too.
in social
Same.
settings. So I
That's why
think
we
that's
get
why we
along.
all get along.
Same.
Yeah,
We like our social group
you're like
small.
we're
and-
fucking awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Nope.
kind of awkward
let's
like
be
I am.
friends. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
awkward like me. Let's do a podcast.
You guys,
Yeah, that
anyone
turned-
listening,
that turned
please
out
just come
great.
say hi, please. We'll say hi. We'll talk. Just
No, we won't. I
All right,
won't
no.
Oh
talk.
my god.
I'll say
I'll
what's
be like,
up.
leave me
By the
alone.
way. Yeah, I'll
Speaking
be
of
like,
being awkward, do you guys want to move on to the next episode?
yeah. Sorry, we got into a tangent about Conan O'Brien. Speaking of Conan O'Brien,
There's two more we have. Victor,
Yeah.
who do you want to who do you want to go next?
so I want to finish this off. So I am gonna let Mr. DJ go with his. Please walk us down a certain street.
Why, thank you.
Wow, clever.
Oh, good boy. Those transitions are getting good. I
Don't
would
get used
like
to it.
to talk about Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, which
Cheers to
is, yeah, it's one of those very nostalgic earlier Treehouse of Horror segments, and it's a parody of Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, if you didn't get it by the title,
Oh,
but it has, but it has
I thought you were
groundskeeper
just-
Willie.
Sorry, I thought Vince was gonna turn around. It's like, Taylor, that episode was
Oh,
about
shit.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and she's like, no, fucking.
Babe, remember?
thought it was
the
Edward
episode I was talking about?
Scissorhands.
Holy shit.
Anyways,
Keep
so
going, dude.
it's got groundskeeper Willie, who's by far my favorite character on the show,
Mhm.
as in the role of Freddy Krueger, and it's just so fun. I just want to bring up the thing that made me love groundskeeper Willie the most is the
Yep, I
Bart
know.
the Bart episode when he's just like, "Hey Wolfie, put down the turf,"
No.
and he rips off his shirt and he's just like, "It's time for the main
main
course."
No. All right, now since we're doing this, quick little side quest. My favorite bit was when Sounders' little helper gets in the air ducts at the school, and he has to go get greased up, and he walks up to the lunch lady.
Have
door,
you
she's
got?
like,
It's the same episode. He's just like,
Is
"Have
it?
you, lunch lady Doris?
way.
Have you gotten a grease?"
yes, we do.
Then grease me up, woman.
Like, he's all ripped.
Okie dokie.
No, you didn't catch it right. Where she's like, her eyes get wide. She's like, okie dokie.
She's like, okie dokie.
Dude.
But anyways, okay, back to the
Alright.
episode. I'll just do a quick synopsis. Groundskeeper Willie is playing the role of Freddy Krueger. For those who have seen Nightmare on Elm Street, the parents of kids that have been diddled with go and burn Freddy Krueger alive, and he becomes a vengeful spirit, a wraith,
Mhm.
if you will, and he goes and kills the children of those same people that killed him in their dreams. So the same plot line is followed in there with some jokes, but there's very underlining tones of Nightmare on Elm Street, including like the music, the melodies that they use. It's like very half Simpsons, half Nightmare
Yeah.
on Elm Street, which blends together perfectly for some reason. Having Bart and Lisa as the main protagonists is so fun because they're in most episodes, they're very conflicting viewpoints on the protagonist, and they're kind of flip sides to the coin. And I don't know, it was just a very fun episode. Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite horror series, just because Freddy Krueger is just such this kind of, as the films go on in the series, he kind of becomes more and more diluted down to like a very one line kind of dude. But like when you watch the first one, you're realizing how scary that can fucking be. And I think the Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace kind of takes that first movie and puts all of it into that episode, and still makes it funny, and there's a happy ending and everything, but it keeps the essence of Robert Englund as, you know, fucking Freddy Krueger, and it's Wes Craven's idea for Freddy Krueger, which he was supposed to be much more terrifying than the sequels made him out to be.
Yeah.
They made him very cartoonish, which I didn't really like. I liked it up until Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. And after that, it was kind of just like, ooh. And until the new Nightmare, like the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Wes Craven one came out, where they had the original, the Heather Locklear as the real one. Anyways, the point is the episode was fun to watch, and I'm rambling. You guys gotta tell me when I'm rambling. Is that it was just fun, and it was fun to watch, and again, love Groundskeeper Willie. So
actually, I have a question for you. So watching that, understanding your love of the fact that it's one of your favorite horror movies, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Question one, you could follow up with question two. Question one, did that greatly, like, did you laugh more because you thought it was funny because you know the source material, where you just like, I know exactly what they're joking, I know exactly what they're referencing? And two, did you appreciate how they changed the parody, where it was Freddy Krueger was a bad guy, and and he became a monster? But in the Simpsons one, they did the parody where it was the parents' goddamn fault, and he was a spirit of vengeance because it was the parents' fault. So first one, second one.
Okay, first one. When I was a kid, I was laughing because it was animated. You know what I mean? And because I got to watch it at like 9 at night, and my dad wasn't very big on like turn that TV off and this and that. Like movies and TV shows are our way of connecting. And so when I stayed up late, he would watch it with me. And that's why I'm very passionate about The Simpsons, the earlier seasons, because it reminds me of just watching TV with my dad and having those heartfelt moments of just, we didn't really need to say anything to each other. We just enjoyed each other's company while watching TV or movies. But as I got older and I realized what it was parodying, it added like a very it added a very different tone to it, and I appreciated it more. So I appreciate it more as I get older because I understand the references that they're making. Even if you watch old episodes of The Simpsons, you're like, oh, that makes more sense now. Or, oh, that one line, like I didn't understand that when I was a kid and I was so innocent. Now, you know, I've been through some shit. So I finally get that, and it's funnier now. So if that makes sense. That sounds really depressing, but I swear to God, like as you get older, you appreciate
swear to God, I'm okay.
more. I swear to God, I'm not okay, but it's fine. Like it's okay to not be okay.
My Chemical Romance would be proud.
And Matt Groening, Matty G would be proud because I fully appreciate that episode, because as I got older, I appreciate it.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, that's good. Good answer. But what did you like that they changed it where it was like, that's actually brilliant for me. But did you like that the change was, instead of him, Groundskeeper Willie, diddling people?
Yeah.
It was literally he had a reason.
Yeah, I fully like that because it made it for the audience, and it made it an easier story to just follow along with. You know, with the Treehouse of Horror episodes, they could make one episode of Treehouse of Horror for each of those segments. They're just so, you could put so much detail into them, and they're so much fun to watch. But like they were geniuses at just taking something that I could probably make a whole episode into and breaking it down into like 10-minute segments or 8-minute segments. You know what I mean? So I fully appreciate that more, that they were able to do that. You know?
Okay. No, I completely agree. I completely understand. That was both of you guys' episodes, and you guys have points for both of them. I'm going to finish it because I've been dying to talk about this one because it is my favorite one. Like, I don't know if you guys saved your favorite ones for the second one, but this is my favorite one. Honestly,
this one deserves the finale of the episode.
Utmost respect of the episode. Yes.
Yeah.
So my favorite one is Treehouse of Horror's The Shinning.
Yeah, this is a classic.
Thank God you spelled it right too.
Yeah, The Shining. It's not The Shining. It's The Shining.
Hey, don't want to get sued.
Here's Johnny.
So the Shining literally is parodying one of the most iconic horror movies ever, which is The Shining, and it's so beautifully done from Mr. Burns getting
Usually the blood gets off to the second floor.
You just see everyone staring or what is it? It's like, this house has a quite colorful history. It's like there was a site of satanic ritual, witch burnings, and 5 John Denver Christmas specials. And you see John Denver. So, fun fact: the voice actor, I forget the voice actor that does Willie's voice. He was kind of butthurt because
it's Dan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he was like, I love Groundskeeper. Everyone loves Groundskeeper Willie. He was kind of like, dude, you in this episode and in this particular Treehouse of Horrors, it came out before the Nightmare on Elm Street parody. And they did that because he was like, can I be like the villain this one? Because you guys, in this particular Treehouse of Horrors, they killed him off the same way in every episode, which was an axe to the back, where when Groundskeeper Willie goes to try to save the Simpsons family from Homer, where he comes in, he's like, all right, Looney, show me what you got. And then he gets hit in the back with an axe. And he's like, oh, is that the best you can do? And just collapses. So in every second, every bit of that, he got killed. And they were just like, you know what? We're throwing you a bone. We're going to make a whole segment for you because of that. But that was like, I feel like the comedy was perfect. And then in that episode, they did touch on a thing that we were all touching on for the whole episode, which was like kind of honoring the material that it's quoting from in such a way, and to show why they changed the titles, because they beyond like the Raven, every other thing was changed. And it was literally that one bit with Bart where it's just like, boy, you got the Shining. You mean Shining. Shh, want to get sued? That's literally why, because they wanted to honor it, but they just also didn't want to get sued. I think that is the best one because all the jokes were smart. That was peak Conan O'Brien writing, period. That was him. You watch that episode and you're just like, yep, that's him. And then you see his name in the credits, like, that was beautifully done. Yeah,
I love it because it's breaking the fourth wall in the most seamless way possible. It's breaking the fourth wall without actually breaking the fourth wall.
Oh yeah, dude.
But Conan's brilliant at that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's always just like, his writing, it has like a trademark stitch on it. And like with The Simpsons especially, there are jokes that you can kind of hear Conan like, well, what if we did this? And you know what I mean? Like, it's very oh, that episode is just so good.
To be a fly on the writer's wall when Conan O'Brien was writing for the show. It
young
was
Conan, prime Conan.
Young Conan.
Where he had to prove himself.
Young Conan and Matty G working together.
Matty G and prime Conan, like
so
in the same building.
I have a question for this will be more towards Vince, and then we could close this up, boys. We'll do some honorable mentions after, or we'll do honorable mentions first, but I want Vince to think about this. Because you picked the newer ones. Did you prefer when Matt Groening or Matt G and Conan O'Brien were writing, or they were writing the jokes for these Treehouse of Horrors, or is there an affinity for the new ones that you enjoy too? Like you were just like, oh, okay, I love the comedians that are on this currently. I love the writing staff compared, or is there just is it just like a nice little separation?
Yeah, I think it's definitely two different styles. You can definitely tell around what season the writing changes where Conan leaves. I don't really have a preference because I appreciate both. All the older episodes with Conan's sense of humor and stuff behind it definitely resonate with me. Obviously, I'm a Conan fan. But then the newer stuff, it's still funny, and I think that just goes to show once again the adaptability behind it. The talent, the ability to at least hire staff to write and keep your show relevant, keep your show funny. It's definitely a different type of humor. I don't know. There's really no preference. It's just two different styles, and I appreciate both of them, I guess.
Good freaking answer. I like that one. To close it off before we do our sign-offs, do you boys have any just honorable mentions, things that you wish you could have covered, but the ones that your current picks were just like, you were like, this is Chef's Kiss, this is, Chef's Hi. So I'll start with you, Mr. DJ. Come on.
The Dracula episode.
Fuck.
There's nothing
such a
better.
good-
There's nothing better than when Homer's just like, to the library, and he pulls out a shotgun. You know what I mean? Like, there's something so dope about that. And my favorite part is when he shoots Flanders. It's just like, oh my god, dude, Flanders is a zombie. He's like, Flanders is a zombie, or you shot Flanders, or like,
You
oh
shot
my
the
God,
zombie Flanders.
You shot zombie Flanders. Flanders was a zombie. That's just so funny.
Holy crap. That was
And as he's
big.
beating up, like, it's super meta that I think he hits Edgar Allan Poe or William Shakespeare.
Yup.
He's
And
just
I was
like,
going to say,
"Eat
that was
this, Edgar Allan Poe," and like, I'm just like,
Is this the end of zombie undead Edgar Allan Poe? Will I find out later? Vince, so anyways, what's your honorable mention, man?
My honorable mention, I don't know the title of it. I think it's in one of your guys' episodes because I saw it this morning and I was like, damn, I want to pick this one, but I don't want to switch something on you guys last minute.
What was it?
It was the one where Homer goes to Lardland Donuts, right? And he's
That's mine.
Attack of the
That's mine.
3,000-foot icons.
yeah, that's
yes,
fine, that's fine.
yeah. It's the Godzilla parody, and they all come to life. My favorite part in that one was when Chief Wiggum shoots the guy walking out the store,
Man, it's so tough.
and the other cop is like, "What the heck, man? You just that was the captain of the high school basketball team."
Oh, yeah.
thought
He
it-
was-
He had to come anyways.
No. He was like, he was turning into a monster.
Oh, he's turning into a monster. That was
Police brutality.
Dude.
We didn't even know it.
Bro, that was
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Big
Like,
fan.
we're all Godzilla fans here. We did a
long-lost
secret
episode.
menu Godzilla episode that
the
never,
unreleased.
the unreleased Godzilla episode that never came out.
Oh man,
one day.
dude.
One
We'll,
day.
we'll try to salvage those
One
files. Speaking of salvaging,
What's yours?
hmm My favorite one, still from season one, or the first one. I thought it was one of my favorite ones.
The
I
monkey
wish
one?
no, my favorite one, like one I wish I could have done was Terrible Dream House. The one about the house that was alive.
Yeah. At the end, when he's just like, "Can I have a minute?"
Yeah, and it's like it destroys itself,
and
but
implodes
no,
on itself.
my favorite bit in that is it's perpetually my favorite bit. If I could film it, and if I ever had the chance to write a horror movie, like a serious one, I would throw this line in there, so at least some people are like, oh, they're a Simpsons fan. Was when he calls the realtor about it, where he's like, there's like an ancient Indian burial ground in the basement. He's like, when I bought this house, you didn't mention there was an ancient Indian burial ground in the basement. No, I'm pretty sure. He said he mentioned it about 6 or 7 times. He's like, he mentioned it 6 or 7 times. I'm just like, that's I was tearing up watching it recently too. I was watching it with Amanda and I'm just dying.
It's
Dude.
such a good episode.
Speaking of dying, can we hit the lightning music? Thank you guys so much for just diving into The Simpsons with me, a lore that we all love, just talking about one of the funniest things, that there is no strong central plot. The only strong central plot that it had was making all of us laugh. You got to find out parts of our humor really well, because watch the episodes, you're going to see those really talk about what humor we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so awesome just diving into them. Thank you, Mr. Vince, for keeping it fresh and new for us and making.
Thank you for picking a Simpsons episode. I didn't expect us to ever talk about the Simpsons on this stuff.
Bro,
I'm glad we got the chance to do it.
I'm so happy right now. This is one of the happiest moments I've been on the show. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is just amazing for me. And Mr. DJ, thank you again for picking the old ones, making me go down nostalgia road. And if you don't mind, walk us out, man.
Well,
not yet. Mr. Vince and then Mr. DJ. Mr. Vince.
I'll be short and sweet. You guys know how I roll. I always like to tease what I'm picking when it's my turn in the next week. Next week, we're gonna be covering the Is It a Flop or Not movie that just came out. It is our last week of October's Halloween spooky creepy movie TV stuff, whatever. I don't even know what we're calling it. But anyways, next week we're gonna go in Spooktober. I don't even know. I think Spooktober is
it's definitely copyrighted.
It's definitely copyrighted. We can't do that, unfortunately.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something clever out. But yeah, next week we're gonna go and review and give you guys our reactions for Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Oh man,
I'm a loser on my planet.
Yeah, and then after that it's back to normal. It's back to probably Marvel and DC other and things.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're listening or watching, whatever you guys do, let us know. I was going to do this in the first 10. I'm sorry that this is, 50 minutes later. There's a new series coming out, or it's out right now. There's a new series out right now. It's called Squid Game. Everybody's watching it. Yep. Everybody's talking about it. I haven't seen it yet, but if you guys want us to review it and make a whole episode about it, then let us know and we'll do it.
Hell yeah. Now on that note,
we can leave.
Now we can get the walkout. Please walk us out, Mr. DJ.
Use a pen, Sideshow Bob. Okay, so as always, thank you for joining us on this wonderful adventure on this newest issue, 45 of Words With Nerdz. As always, it is me, DJ, aka the Dead Sundance Kid himself.
It's me, Victor, Dead Man Walking Rodriguez.
And it's me, Space Case. I got no middle name. I'm sorry. I'm sleepy. I'm not clever. But thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week.